friend, Roger Christopherson here again with another first listen review. And when I saw this one was coming out, I was like, man, I know that's going on the list of stuff I'm going to babble about. And here I am doing exactly that. We were talking about Warren Haynes and his new album, Million Voices Whisper. I don't know exactly how long it's been since his last solo album, but I think it's been 9 years, I think is where I read somewhere. It's been 9 years since he's done anything, just his solo stuff. And if anybody doesn't know who Warren Haynes is, I first saw him playing with the Allman Brothers Band like years ago, but he was also the founder of Government Mule and still around doing their stuff. They've released a ton of albums, but I remember seeing him, I was lucky enough to catch the Allman Brothers Band, like, I can't remember what year it was, but saw Warren Haynes when he was with them and thought he was amazing. He was singing and playing guitar, and his guitar playing was what blew me away, how good he was. And then those few songs that he did sing, I was like, man, he's got the total package. This dude can sing. So when he came out with, I think it was one of those solo albums I got first, but I actually don't remember. It's going back quite a ways, but I've been a big fan of his ever since, and I like the Government Mule stuff quite a bit. They're more of like, this is my take on it, they're kind of more like a jam band, whereas his solo stuff is more song structured and more intimate, a little bit more mellow, I think, a little bit more bluesy. That's kind of the feeling I get when I'm listening to his stuff separate. So I kind of had an idea what I was going to get with this one, but quite honestly, this is a pretty long album. It's 50-some minutes or something like that. I can't remember now, but it's kind of all over the place, which is a good thing. He's got some cool little jammy stuff going on. It's not strictly blues. It's got a little bit of soul going on in it. It does have a little bit of blues. There's a little bit of gospel feel to it. And I don't know, it's just got a good mixture of stuff, and it doesn't repeat what you would hear in any of his previous bands. So one thing I really liked, a lot of emotion going on into this one. The lyrics, I think, actually feels like he put a lot of thought into the lyrics, and some stuff, that isn't just, I don't know how to say it quite right, but more intimate sounding lyrics, like more about him and stuff like that. But some of the highlights on here, I think, were like Go Down Swingin', kind of had that, I don't know, like a bluesy soul. It's more of a happier sounding song than you might hear from him on most of his solo stuff. You Ain't Above Me had some cool little B.B. King stuff going on in it, and B.B. King is one of my favorite guitar players, like way back when I was first learning how to play. Just the way B.B. could hold out a note just was awesome. So he's got a special guest, Jamie Johnson, on one of the songs called Day of Reckoning, which it was a Lucas Nelson co-wrote with that on that one. That one was a pretty decent one. Got a little bit of a political thing going on in there, which I don't usually really care for too much. I don't really like politics and music, but they did it in a way that it wasn't like shoving it down my throat. The last review I just did was talking about politics and music too, and it's just, for me, I just don't want to hear that. So also on here is a cool little thing that he's got. Real Love was actually co-written with Greg Allman, and it just kind of like, just feels like it felt really good, like it felt right in place on this album, and it felt like something that was a good thing for him to do. So he gets a little bit more funky on the Lies, Lies, Lies. I'm kind of reading some notes I took here while I was listening to it, and the bass part of that was really cool. Really gives me a Jaco Pastorius type feel to it, so that was kind of neat. Everybody knows who Jaco is, one of the best bass players ever to have lived on this earth, so it's always good to hear something that reminds me of that. And it sounds, even though it's a solo album, it sounds kind of like a band, and it sounds like a group of guys got together, recorded it, and had the time of their lives doing it, but just had this cool overall feel. It's got, it doesn't have every little tiny note fixed. Not that there's anything bad in it, but you got the human feel to it. It doesn't sound like everything was, drum parts were like quantized, and every drum hit is right on the, exactly right on the click. It's got a little bit of a looseness to it, which I love. I hate it when bands go in and they fix every little tiny thing. It just takes sucks the the humanness right out of the music. So that's one thing I actually loved about this. It sounds like human beings playing together, interacting with each other, loving the music they're making. And so it's probably one that's going to be playing in my CD player, because yes, I have CDs, love CDs, make no bones about it. If it sounds like I'm half asleep doing this, it's because I just woke up. I've been listening to this thing all night long. Got it yesterday, listened to it through, and just couldn't wait to get up and make this a little review about it. So if anybody out there has had the chance to hear this, please leave your comments on it. And if you've got any cool Warren stories, as always, I welcome anything anybody has to say cool about Warren or Allman Brothers or Government Mule or anything like that, or if anything else I've forgotten to mention that is on here. There's a few guests on here, like I mentioned, and tell me what you think. So anyway, until next time. I forgot. Please like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive, because Warren Haynes, if he's going to keep, making music like this, man, I'm ready for it. The more people that know about this, I think this was actually released on his own album, or a label, I mean. I think it was one he did, or he paid for it all himself, I believe, to do that. I don't know, I actually read that up somewhere else. So it's on Fantasy Records, so I'm sorry. But it is one he did all himself. So this is like self-produced, self-done, everything. So another cool, awesome thing is when you have nobody in there telling you exactly how to make music and what music you're supposed to make. And you can go in there and make the music you want to make that's in your heart. It shows on this one. So yeah, unfortunately, like the previous one I reviewed, it sounded like there was a lot of influence going into that one, telling the band what to make. This one, it sounds like he made what he wanted to make, did it with his friends, and it sounds awesome. So anyway, that's my little quick take on it. Until next time, we will see you.